Perfect. Well, let's start off, dude. Welcome to the Pro-Funhaver podcast, man.
Thanks, mate. It's a pleasure.
No, dude. Yeah. Well, so let's start it off. Like for the people that are listening that are not aware who you are and what do you do, elevator pitch. Who are you?
So my name is Bienvenido Aguado. I'm a rider from Spain, live in Barcelona, and I'm riding bikes since 2007. I've been riding a dirt jump bike for over 10 years. And then I started riding downhill and big bikes 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago now, in April 2018, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I've always seen your video parts and your urban riding video, and I've been a subscriber to your channel for a while and that. And when like after the whole Dark Fest, like when you did the front flip, I said, okay, well I have to reach out to this guy.
That's it. Thanks, mate.
Awesome. Well, so where like what I usually try and ask the people is where did it all start off? Like where did your love for riding bicycle? Like I said, most of us as kids we all rode bikes and stuff like that. But where did your love for it start, and where did you see, okay, cool, but I can actually do this for a career or do this for a living?
So when I was 21 years old, I was going to work with a little bike. So I was doing like 10 kilometers in the morning to go to work and 10 back in the afternoon. And after 2 years, I stopped by like a dirt spot close to in Barcelona. It's called Collserola. It's where people goes to do enduro and stuff like that. And at the bottom, there's a little flat. So they build like 3 tables. And I was just hanging out with my friends somewhere. And then we saw the jumps. And I just decided to try them. So after a month going every day, someone told me to go to La Poma Bike Park. And this is probably where everything started for real. So I went every day for like 2 years nonstop. Then I quit my job because I was doing a couple demos. And wasn't easy, but I decided I just wanted to ride, and money was a minor factor. So I was struggling a bit with the money stuff, but at the same time I was doing my thing, so I was pretty happy about that. And then in 2011 I started going big, so I did the double front flip. Then I got YT as a sponsor, Spank, and then I can say when I become professional.
I see. Yeah, well, that sounds like cool. So, but what is the nature of like pushing you to actually go to those jumps? Because like if you see a normal guy on a bicycle, they'll ride around on a bike, but like not everyone think, okay, let's go and jump those jumps there.
Yeah, the thing is, before being a rider, I've been a gymnast dude. I've been doing so many acrobatic stuff like capoeira, taekwondo, and parkour, breakdance, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so when I've seen those guys jumping in the bike and doing like stunts in the air, I was like, wow, this is cool.
Exactly.
And I started like after 2 weeks of riding my bike, I was able to take one hand out and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, that's so much fun. Yeah, and then they told me La Poma was like the dirt jump spot to go to, and everything started in La Poma. 4 months after I did my first backflip, a year after I did my first front flip, and I believe being a gymnastic was pretty good for the progression of the tricks. But then with the years, I needed to learn how to ride, you know? Because when I started riding downhill bikes 3 years ago, I just realized I didn't know how to ride a bike, like down the hills and the technique, and just learn how to ride a bike. I knew how to ride berms and ramps, but not hills, you know, and loose stuff. So yeah.
No, but that makes 100% sense, because now one of my friends, Chris, he's actually one of the co-hosts of the show, and that Krusty, he now wants to, like, he's on this journey to learn to do a backflip on a dirt bike. And one of the things is that everyone advised him, or one of our other mates that rides BMX advised him, is go to a local trampoline park and just get the feel, learn to the backflip, that aerial awareness. Yeah. because he's never flipped. He's jumped a lot of stuff, and he's done small tricks like heel clickers and knack-knacks and stuff on dirt bikes and jumps like that, but he's never flipped before.
Yeah, I believe fun pits and airbags and trampolines and all these kind of stuff is just the best thing ever to just push your confidence in between trying and doing backflips and stuff like that. It's for sure really good for the mindset.
Exactly. Yeah, to get that aerial awareness, just to because like if I now go and I just do like a standing normal backflip and that, like afterwards when you land, you're confused, you're not sure where you are, you're not sure where you're landing. But like for you guys jumping those major jumps, if anyone just would watch any of your videos, like the big jumps that you guys do, you need to be kind of aware of where you are and going through the air. Like
I know many riders, they come from gymnastic or trampoline skills, and those are the kind of guys who they easily double flip and cork 7 and stuff like that, you know, because they already know the rotation on their mind.
On the mind, yeah. So now, like from you being now from Spain and Barcelona and all that, like how is the local scene there? For like in South Africa, we are very blessed to have the guys down in Stellenbosch with Darkfest, and we've got the big, like one of the biggest ramps there, and there's a big scene there. But how is the scene in your area?
In my area, which is cool, is there is so many freestyle sports. I mean, in Barcelona, it's so classic. You can see so many BMXers, skateboarders, rollerblades, scooter kids. There's a bunch of them.
Sure.
And there's also a lot of mountain bike culture, like e-biking, enduro riding, downhill riding. I mean, it's something you can do around here for sure. You've got Andorra, you've got couple bike parks, you've got La Pomas, dirt jump spot, you've got couple trails if you want to go for trails riding. I mean, like steep jumps and flowy stuff like that. So during the years, the places you can go, they've been growing. Yeah. So you can really enjoy with all the ways of riding a bike. You know, big wheels, small wheels, you got skate parks. It's like the possibilities are quite big. Not many spots, but we got a little bit of everything, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, well, I think that's perfect, because that's how like yourself, you started with gymnastics and all that, and then learn to ride and got the confidence to ride, and then from there on you can just expand. But from
you
watching,
can try everything.
Yeah, and then from watching your videos, you actually showed my girlfriend one of your videos, and she said, "But this guy rides anywhere. Like he just sees like a park or something, and he rides off there and rides over here and that."
Yeah,
and I think that the urban riding side of it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about mountain bike. You can, if you have an enduro bike, you can go for park, and it's not gonna be ideal, but you can go for park. You can go for like pedal. You can go for downhill. You can go for jumps. You can go for speed. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with enduro bike. Yeah. If you want to do like proper jumps, maybe buy a dirt jump bike. If you want to do proper downhill, maybe buy a downhill bike. Yeah. But it's like you can do a little bit of everything, which is cool.
Exactly. Well, so you started now from jumping those jumps there, and then like slowly just like to learn to flip and all that, and then got your skills and that. Like, what made you choose like the direction that you went in of, okay, cool, I want to do like the bigger jumps and more dirt jumps and stuff like that, instead of pursuing the career of like actually a racer in that sense?
I mean, I came from body rotations, so the easiest way for me was to start with the tricks, and then after 10 years doing dirt jump and tricks, I kind of got bored of it, and then that's why I started into the downhill bike to try something new.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this is actually cool as well, and I feel like I still need to learn so much stuff with the big bike, you know, and this is what keeps me motivated with the big bike.
Exactly. Well, I think that's the cool part of like the scenario of being in your position at the moment. You've got the skill set to go either way, and you can only like keep on expanding in that sense. Like either go to the extent of to learning more tricks and getting bigger on tricks and stuff, or then just getting more accumulating more skills on the downhill side.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I want to do now. I feel like I've done more or less everything I wanted to do on the dirt jump bike. I mean, I've done double flip Superman, 360 double webs, and double back flips and double front E-tug no handers. After all these things for a couple years, because I've been doing masses of their shows into the airbag. So every year I had like 15 shows with the MOD and some others. So I've done this a lot, you know, like repetition once and again and again and again. So after that, I felt like I wanted to try something new. That's why I jumped on the big bike.
Exactly. No, there's a fine balance. Like I know in South Africa, like most of our freestyle FMX guys, and that they kind of have to do these demos and shows, and that to be able to support themselves, to pay for make a living of that. But don't you think that is also the cause of then guys like yourself getting, let's say, bored of that, because you're doing the same tricks all over and over, and it's not like it's small tricks. It's you're going big, and it's massive tricks. But don't you think that like how do you find the balance of not getting bored, or do you think that eventually anyone will just get, okay, cool, you know what, this is
the thing is with dirt jump, you usually are on the same spot all day long, you know, so you're looking at the same jumps and you're hitting the same jumps the whole day, which is sometimes really cool, but it's for sure you get bored a little bit quicker than if you're just riding a wall mountain, you know. Because even if you have done 10 laps, you're not going to remember exactly how the track is. So your brain will need to work a little bit more. And the surprise fact is going to be more in the riding. So at the end, there's more situations you need to go through. And on the jumps, it's all the time the same situation. You can push yourself and go bigger for sure. And there's always one more step higher, you know. But I feel like I want to learn way more on riding, just riding my bike down the hill now, because I still think there is a bunch of stuff to learn still.
So no, what is the specific skill set that you focusing on now in developing? Yes, you want to ride, but like what is, like with the flipping, obviously you learn like all the trick stuff and getting more flexible. But now what are you focusing on now to get the riding down?
I will say I'm working on my speed and my confidence, doing the same jumps, but just like if it's the jumps at home, you know, because when you go to big jumps, if the confidence is really high, you're way more safe. You enjoy everything way more. So as more confident, I feel more fun I have. You know, exactly. And sometimes it's just so fun to get sketchy as well.
That like an adrenaline rush when you're on the edge, like you almost crashed through it.
When you feel everything is in control, sometimes it gets a bit boring as well. Somehow, exactly. You know, if you're doing something super hard and it feels easy, you're like, and then it's kind of cool as well. But it's actually fun to get sketch and Bruce berms and go over the bar sometimes, you know. The dirt test is also fun.
No, I think that's part of what is fueling our whole action sports scene at the moment is guys like yourself that are not afraid to go over the bars and not afraid to crash and injure yourself, because then you know, okay, cool, because otherwise, like at the moment we are in uncharted territory. For instance, like there's like the stuff that you guys are doing now, it's like when the sport started, there's no one has done it before, so you kind of need yourself to go and jump. It's like, okay, cool, I went over the bars, or I under rotated, or didn't have enough speed to be able to help upcoming guys to get those tricks going.
Yeah, the cool thing about not being so afraid about going OTB, it's if you're ready to crash, you're not gonna hurt yourself that bad, you know. If you're like, no, don't crash, so you're gonna try to stay on your bike as much as you can, and maybe you can eat shit properly. But if you know you can crash, just jump out of your bike, try to save your life, and it's probably gonna be way safer if you know you're gonna crash. You know, that's why, for example, moto guys or racer guys, they don't crash that often as free ride guys or dirt jump guys, but when they crash, they do good, you know, because they just want to try to stay on their bike, and normally they get hammered.
Yeah.
you
Yeah, you
know.
see
And if
them.
you're a third
Yeah.
jump guy, you just jump and save your body.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
it's
you've
actually good.
seen from the highlights from like I'm keep on referring to Darkfest now, but like I said, those guys crashing there, you can see the guys that's like stay committed to their bikes, and like guys that okay, cool, I know I'm gonna crash, just push the bike away, like prepare
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
impact and go
Because it
for it. Yeah,
sometimes it's probably gonna be worse if you try
mm.
to stay on your bike,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
because it's gonna be like whoosh, and you jump off of your bike, you're gonna be body rolling. But
Mm,
as soon as you're rolling, you're not getting hit in once, so it's maybe better, you know. Depends.
exactly. Yeah,
It always depends the jump, the speed, the trick.
yeah.
But it's usually better if you eject. So I'm not afraid to just eject.
Eject. Well, no,
Probably
I've heard of guys like speaking about knowing when to eject and stuff like that. Guys that are in two mindsets of when they do jump, like either the guys that they do the trick and they actually only figure out that they've landed it once they landed it, and then there's the other type of guys that are super clear. They can't like in the air and they know exactly the movements that they're doing. They're physically aware of it. It's not like a subconscious movement. Like where do you fall? Do you when you jump? Do you and only when you land? Okay, cool. I did this trick and I landed it, but it was a subconscious movement. Or do you like know like in the air exactly what you're doing? Or not that I'm not either knows like not know what they do, but like I said, where do you fall in that category?
Yeah, I would say the mind plays a really strong game at that point. So if you commit, it's gonna be better.
Yeah. No, but what I mean was like I've had guys like do certain tricks on a bike where, if, for instance, they yes they committed and they do the trick and they land it, but they
Yeah.
only kind of realize that they've done it once they've landed. And then there's other guys that tell me while they're flying through the air, they are physically like everything slows down and they can see their bike moving and them moving through the air. So is it a subconscious movement from you, or do you actually like, is it 100% okay, you everything slows down and you go from there?
I will say it's something that works automatically.
Okay.
I didn't really practice for that,
Yeah.
but I believe about repetition, you
Mm.
know, doing something once and again.
Yes,
My
yes,
brain just automatizes this, you know.
exactly.
Probably, yeah, probably just about doing it once and again, then it
Yeah,
gets automatic for you. But it's for sure people who thinks about too much.
yeah, yeah. Because
I do sometimes, you know. Sometimes I just want to try to measure everything as much as I can.
mm,
But usually what happens to me is I stress, you know.
yeah,
So sometimes it's good. I think about what I want to do for a couple minutes and then I
yeah,
just do white mind and I just clear my mind. And it's like, okay, you know what to do now. There's nothing you can judge besides what you've done already. So just go for it and try to enjoy the moment.
yeah. Because that's exactly what I was now going to ask is how do you get yourself to that state? But like if you standing on top of that hill, like okay, now I need to hit this jump and that. How do you clear your mind to be able to okay, cool. I'm just gonna go and just go for it.
I mean, usually I stress myself for like when I did that front flip
Mm,
or when I do like stuff like that. I stress my mind on the night before and sometimes in the morning. But once I jump into the bike, I just try to forget about it.
mm,
And then 2 minutes before, then I stress, you know, then
yeah,
try to remember what I want to do, judge everything, judge whatever, the wind, my energy, my setup, everything.
yeah.
And so I stress a bit before, and then right before doing it, I just clear my mind. Because if you're stressing,
Mm, mm,
you even can case the little jumps before going for
yeah.
the big one, you know, because you need to go
Mm.
step by step, not just forget about everything and then go, in
Exactly.
my opinion.
Yeah. No, but it makes sense because then if you once you have a clear mind, you'll find that flow and then it'll be like exactly what you said. It would be a subconscious movement of your brain just reacting to muscle memory. It's like, I have to do a front flip and this is the distance. So your brain will automatically click into those gears and just do the front flip that it needs to do or do the trick that it needs to do.
I just try to judge as much as I can everything that's that I can judge. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, I take it and I clear my mind
Yeah.
with this, and I just try to do my thing without, because if you're too stressed or you're scared, it's not
Mm-hmm.
good, you know? Then it's gonna stop yourself, in my
Exactly, yeah.
opinion.
And I think well, you already accepting the fact that if you're gonna crash, you're gonna crash. I think that also brings a certain calm to you, because I'm thinking now, if even
Yeah,
if I
I accept the situation, either the reward or the
Mm,
crash at some
yeah,
point, you know? Because
exactly.
otherwise, I mean, you're always looking for the reward instead
Yeah.
of the crash for sure. But you need to know both things are possible and you need to
Mm,
play with it. So you use this in your profit. It's always what the little kids they ask me, how do you, you're no fear, na na na. I'm like, no
mm,
guys, I'm scared sometimes,
mm.
but I just use it for myself as like judging everything I can. But once you've judged everything you can, just forget about being scared. Just be confident. Use it for yourself. You know, provide of it.
Yeah. That's I think that's the perfect way to go through it. And I think that's a guy like yourself talking about of how many years of experience in building that. It's not a thing of where I can go now to the local bike shop and buy a bike and obviously have that confidence. And you
Oh,
yourself said now with the downhill your riding, and that you need to build up that confidence with time.
yeah. I probably have been building that confidence for 20 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After 10 of gymnastics and 10 of biking, I
Yeah.
put all of this together, and this is what I use for myself.
Perfect.
Just trying to know. I mean, I know I can spin.
Mm.
Just judge everything you can, and then
Yeah.
good luck.
And just send it and see what it lands.
Yeah, at some point you need to risk, you know,
Mm.
then because otherwise you're not gonna make stuff like the big jumps we do at Dark Fest, all the boys, you know, every single one, it's confident and
Mm.
scared at the same time. Every
Exactly.
single one, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's a general rule that action sports have
Or action
taught.
sport, yeah.
Yeah, but
Same as snowboard and
everything.
motocross and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
but
Yeah.
I think that's why. Well, like I had this conversation with a friend of mine, Chris. I think this is why action sport has taught many of us that got into it. Not that I've got professional any of it, but it's that mentality of getting confident, and when you crash, you pick yourself up, you recover, and you get back at it. You just continue that loop. And even if you are scared of doing something, taking that leap, because I think that's the difference between someone doing it for a living and someone doing it just okay
For
because they're
fun,
doing
yeah.
it. Yeah, because there's a little switch that you switch on and say, okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna risk it and go for it because I'm confident in my 10 years of riding ability and my 10 years of gymnastics, so that I am definitely going to be able to do this. And you just make that switch, and then you go for it. And then if you fall and you crash, that's part of it, and you just learn from it and go from it.
Yeah, yeah, this is the way.
Yeah.
For sure, this is the way.
But now,
In my opinion, there's not another way. Just provide of it.
exactly. But now you've been in a scenario of situations like Darkfest and other riding it. Do you think the mentality of let's say you are alone there, or would it be is it more is the attitude of actually going bigger better when there's a lot of guys there? Like for instance, Darkfest, like everyone's there, everyone's hyped, everyone is wants to go big,
Oh
all
yeah,
that
for
energy
sure.
in that, or would you prefer it to be you yourself on that ramp and then going for it?
I mean, to be honest, at Darkfest, I've been the
Mm,
whole week doing like just trains with the boys,
mm,
session on the step up with everyone, and you know, so much teamwork, so much trains, and so much fun together.
yeah.
But when it was time for that front flip, I just kept my mind alone, you know, because
Mm,
I know no one could say anything that could help at some point
uh,
except go for it, you know.
mm,
But like the speed, the pressure I need to hit in the ramp and everything, it's something I knew I had to work by myself. So I had maybe I had half an hour by myself, and just, you know, just thinking about it, da da da.
yeah.
And then, but that's probably the only half an hour I've been doing my thing. I just wanted to be focused, you know, and just be super concentrated. And that's probably the only half an hour I've done by myself.
Exactly.
But the rest of the week, it was for sure like a big jam, teamwork, team jam. And
yeah, yeah, because I saw some the videos and the content from there, and one of the drone pilots there is friends of one of my drone pilots, and he just says the atmosphere there, you can kind of feel the energy in those jumps and everything. Like everyone is just first of all, just the camaraderie. It's like a bunch of guys riding mountain bikes all together.
And this is what it's so cool about it, you know, the vibes and the vibrations. You can feel every time one guy is dropping, or three guys in a row, or all the crew. There's like an atmosphere that there's nothing like that.
Exactly.
That's what makes it so cool, because we are friends and we support each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one thing when you see a sport like that thriving and surviving, is when everyone has this attitude of, I always refer to the quote says, a rising tide raises all ships. Like your massive front flip that you did there gave so much awareness. Like, dude, if you just Google Darkfest now, there's like probably 5-6 news articles and videos about your video of you doing the front flip there, and it's like that's like you doing that helps everyone else, and it's just everyone is building everyone else up.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it for myself for sure. Like that was a goal. Myself, I made this goal for myself somehow. But at the same time, I'm like super happy. It helps to push the event, because just because of the record, it went to the news, and Darkfest was the new, you know. At Darkfest, Bienvenido did na, and the boys killed it, you know. Exactly, but the main thing is in South Africa at Darkfest event, this happened, and this is so cool, because you know they make I can do this. So once I do this, promotion goes for everyone a bit better, and yeah, for sure, social media and TV plays a big game for us, for sponsors and everything. So it's actually cool. We push each other, not just on the ride and on the course, you know, also on social media. It's also cool. We can just go bigger and do this once again. So probably next year is going to happen again. This is the goal as well.
No, but that's exactly what I was saying. After you landed, like I don't think I could skip an Instagram story without like someone sharing your video and saying, "Hey, look at this, look at this." Cool. And it's so nice to see that everyone got involved and like everyone was excited for that. But my like you now mentioning about like all this is helping with the exposure for the sport, and it obviously like puts your name out there, and that's like one of the reasons why I thought, yes, I'd really need to chat to you and like just get a bit more insight about like who you are and what you do, but to focus more on the business side of it and actually making a living of it. Like, how would you say is one of the key things that you do to be able to do this for a living, like be able to like pursue this career?
I mean, I started my career, it wasn't a career, it was just a hobby, you know. So for sure, I'm pretty happy I can call this my job right now, but I don't think I could keep doing this job without having fun somehow, you know, because we're risking so much, you know. Every single time can be the last, because this is at the end something we know, and we see other riders getting injured, and it's a pain in the ass for all of us, but we know what we play with. So I will say it started like a hobby, luckily, and I'm pretty happy about that. Then I could do some shows, then I got professional and everything. But the best way, you need to keep having fun, otherwise it's gonna die. Exactly. There's no way it's gonna keep alive if you're not having fun and not like pushing yourself or between your friends to do everything to have more fun, you know. That's why I started YouTube as well, for example, because I had fun doing videos, you know. Once it was too much work and it was just work, I was like, YouTube is not that cool, you know, because it's just work. And I kind of forget about having that much fun. I was just filming, busy. And now I just keep it in a different way. So I do the ones I enjoy doing them. But if I need to do stuff I don't enjoy doing it, I probably don't do it. You know.
So, well, that's
Same as big trips or going anywhere.
well, that's the key why with this whole podcast and everything is actually it's called the Pro-Funhaver podcast, because that's exactly what the type of people that we interact with, and that's the mission that myself and Chris and Lyle, the other two guys on my team, also go for. Is we are not pros in anything else, but we pro at having fun. Like if we're filming or we're taking photos or we're riding dirt
Yeah.
bikes or mountain bikes or whatever we do, as long as we're having fun, then we're pursuing that, and we'll go out of our way to have a great time, and that's what we keep on pushing in that. And at the moment we're doing it, like I said, we still at the phase of we're doing the filming and photography and the podcast and all that for fun, for as a hobby and for fun, but
probably everyone needs to be a professional fun guy. That's the best way of living, you know.
Exactly.
Even if you're poor or rich, or keep your positivity up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not easy. I know there's a couple of situations I can tell they're not having as much fun as another people.
Yeah.
But I will say positivity and try to get the most of it. It's definitely a good way to go.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that now with so one of the companies that I work with here in South Africa is the Treasury One Motorsport team, and the CEO of the company, the Treasury One company, he says like his racing is like when he comes back from home, his wife always says his love tank is full because he went racing and like he's happy and he's ecstatic and he's smiling, and then it gives him so much more energy to do his normal day-to-day job as a CEO.
Yeah.
And that same rule of having fun goes from him being a CEO of a company and also any of his employees. Like he encourages everyone that works there, from the cleaner to the guy that's the security guard in the parking. Okay, yes, you work here from 9 to 5 or whatever your hours is, but after that you need to go home and do something fun. On the weekends you need to take off. He encourages people to take leave and go do something fun, because he said that's exactly what people do. It gives you, even if you're not doing it for like your hobby as for a living or whatever, but it gives you the motivation to do your 9 to 5 job and then and be able to afford to do that, to have that fun. And it doesn't matter if you earn minimum wage or you're a CEO, like that rule still applies straight through the board.
Yeah, for sure. I think most of the day has to be, you need to be focused, you need to do your thing, but those hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever, at the end of the day or before hitting your day, you need to make it count, you know? So you need these 2 hours of freedom in between or after or before doing what you have to do. You need that little freedom part that maybe this is what's going to make you motivated to live your life or the rest of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%. And I think you, like, one of the key things that I've realized is not to fall in love with the end result, but to fall in love with the journey. Like
the progress.
Yeah. With seeing the progress. Like myself, I've now been on a fitness journey where while we were in lockdown, I picked up weight and I didn't train or anything.
Yeah, same as me, man. So I was probably 80 kilos during lockdown, and now I'm 75, 76, something like I feel way better with. But yeah, lockdown was hard, man. I jumped super hard on my PS4.
Just way too much. Fun, all that.
Call of Duty all day long, man.
All day long, dude.
Yeah, I was over it.
Before, like, so now apart that side, like, how did the whole lockdown affect you? Because I'm jumping off the train of thought now, but how did that whole affect you in your riding? Because like I said, your escape and your like job is to ride a mountain bike, and now we were all confined to be in our houses. How did that affect you?
I actually had to forget I was a mountain bike rider, because if I was thinking I'm a rider, I need to keep my body in shape. I need to fix my bikes or build anything or just be ready. I was stressing myself. So what I've done, it was just forget about mountain bike, because I was like, okay, you need to accept this is not going to work. You're not going to be able to ride for 3 months. And forget about it. Do something else. So I was like trying to do stuff with my girl and playing doing whatever, you know, with her and also with by myself, just making the hours go like by so quick,
like a
just
prison
keeping
sentence
motivated
almost.
with, yeah, so hard though. And I was kind of depressed, to be honest, but at the same time, I had to do it this way, just forget about the bikes and focus something else. And probably got really good on table games with my girl and, and stuff like
Nice.
that. Yeah, we've been playing for so many hours.
Shit.
No alcohol and nothing in 3 months though. I did it. I said like, don't do that, you know, at home.
Yeah.
Just because you're bored, drink beers and stuff. Like, no.
Yeah.
So I tried to stay healthy for sure. For sure, drink more beer when I'm active, for sure. Because at the end of the sessions, I can have a couple of beers with my mate, you know.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
but at home, I just try to stay healthy. Go on the because I have a garden, so and I've got a couple weights so I can play with. So I was kind of big, but not fat, you know. So yeah, that was everything I could do. Just try to stay focused, but it was so hard.
I can imagine, yeah, because the majority of us already work from home, and from before our lockdown happened here in South Africa, our company.
Yeah, but me, I'm not a guy who stays at home.
Oh, yeah, no, same, yeah.
I wake up at 9 and fix whatever I need to fix. I walk my dog, and then I just take my bag and go away. I drive 3 hours if needed, and I go ride, whatever. You know, I'm not. I like to be at home at night, you know, but during the day I stress if I stay at home. I'm like, straight out.
You can't. Okay, you just mentioned it now. So that is a normal day then for you. It's like waking up around 9, and then like doing your morning routine and then going riding.
Yeah, normally I take a bath for an hour every morning because my body actually needs it sometimes. I wake up like a fucking old guy, like looking so struggling to walk, you know. So I make that warm bath and then I'm like ready to hit the day. So I wake up at 9 and by 10 I'm ready. And then I do my bike things. I go out to send stuff and you know, my stuff and then I just try to keep busy on the bike 4 hours or 5 per day for 5 days per week, something like that, just to stay in shape, mind strong, you know, like just to be confident on the bike. I love fixing my bikes and stuff like that, of course, you know. Before I was a dirt jump guy and I didn't really care about that. But as soon as I started with big bikes, they need way more love, you know. And I've got 4 bikes to take care of it. So I really like to always have them safe, and it makes me extra confident to just go ride them. And then I just try to do family stuff, maybe go out for lunch, and then probably the whole afternoon I'm gonna be riding, or sometimes I wake up early, so I go bike park full day. If I'm not riding, usually I'm with my girlfriend doing stuff.
Life of a mountain biker, Daniel mountain biker. No, it's awesome, dude. And like I've really enjoyed chatting to you and like getting to know like a little bit of a mindset behind it and all that. And it's such a weird thing that it doesn't matter like from what country you are, what sport you do. If I chat to like yourself or skateboarder or freestyle mountain bike, freestyle FMX guy, anything, everyone has this same attitude. Like, first of all, I think it's having fun, enjoying what you're doing, and then that whole risk mentality of knowing
that's
that
probably something with all freestyle sports, you know. When you're like a runner or athleticism guy, it's like about being so many hours, just being hard with your body. But with freestyle and free ride and stuff like that, and like skate, it's more about having fun for sure.
100%.
The reward is always better when you land a new trick.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you know, being fast or jumping, and it's always cool as well. I mean, I like so many different sports. I like climbing. I like motorsports as well. Everything is fun, but it's different. I will say everything I like, it's together on the mountain bike scene. Friends, mountain, spins, speed, technology, because we need the technology as well for the bikes and everything, and which is actually cool as well.
Exactly.
Better the bike it is, normally it's better, you know. So it's actually technology. It has a really it's important. I mean.
Now, talking about the technology side, like, do you have a certain input at, like, okay, you ride for YT and that, do you have a certain input on certain things? Like if let's say they're building a new frame or building a whole new bike and whatever, do you guys actually get asked for input on that? Because like, you guys are pushing the bikes to their limits. So does a company like that actually come to you and ask you for insight on what you want changed on the bike, or do they just build your bike and say, hey, yeah, ride this?
To be honest, the only product I've been working with development, it's the freeride saddle from Ergon that we just did the prototype.
Okay.
Because for the frames, for example, the racers are better than us to give feedback, you know. And after, probably a freeride guy just wants a really stiff and strong bike, you know. We don't need that much. So I will say the development of frames and stuff like that, and suspensions and stuff like that, it's better if the racers, they do it for us. but at the end, for example, for flat pedals, because racers, they use clips. For flat pedals and freeride saddle and grips, I will say the freeride guy will say something better than the racer, because we are used to a seat that let us do tricks. We're used to flat pedals that we can have the grip we need, but at the same time we can leave our feet from the pedal and it's not too sticky, you know. And sometimes the grips, we spin our hands around the grips. So the grip, it's more important for a freeride guy than the racer, because the racer, once he grabs his hands, he's not going to move, you know. So as soon as his hand is good like this, it's good. But the freeride guy is going to grab inside, is going to grab sideways because he's going to do a table. So the hand has to spin, you know. Sometimes I think the freeride guy knows a bit more about grips and seats, but the rest I will leave it to racers. To be honest. For example, the YT frame, the 2S, it was pretty good already, but it got developed by Adam Wing when he got into YT like 4 years ago. Now he's not with YT anymore. But they went from a frame that was freeride geometry to more downhill. You know, before it was going like, so if the frame is like this, before it was like this, and now it was like this. You know, so the impacts could be higher. You know, the bike just works better to go down the hill, and it's just faster.
That's insane. Yeah, it's also awesome to see that development in the sport, because obviously, like you mentioned now, like with the bikes, being able to take a better impact and be more comfortable when you're doing these tricks, and that, like, you'll also have a bit more confidence in jumping and that, because you know the bike is going to perform no matter what. Yeah.
I mean, carbon, it's playing a really big it has a big place right now into biking. But I will say, in my opinion, just for the frames, because the bike gets really light, so you can double flip way easier. But I will never ride carbon bars or carbon rims, for example. I'm afraid of that. No bars for sure, man. I've seen so many.
Just break off.
Aluminum bar is gonna ban, and you know, you can see it. But when a carbon bar breaks, it just goes in two pieces, and that's something I don't want. I'm very happy Stein doesn't make carbon.
So talking about breaking stuff, and that's like, what are some of the injuries that you had and had to overcome in your career, 10 years of riding mountain?
So I broke my hand a couple of years ago. This one, nothing serious. This my little finger as well. Then I broke my collarbone. So I have the plague in here.
Oh, yeah.
Still inside. I'm probably need to take it out soon. And I've done 2 surgeries on my left shoulder as well, because it was popping out in 15 and 16, I've got 2 surgeries. One didn't really work, so I popped out my shoulder again after 6 months of recovery.
Yeah.
I went back to riding and I had a crash and popped out my shoulder again. So I was like, okay, let's do another surgery, but something stronger. Because first they did those little holes. They went through the holes, which is arthro surgery.
Okay.
And then they fixed couple ligaments and stuff like that, but it didn't work. So at the end, they just opened it all the way. And they did coracoid surgery, which is a little bone. They cut somewhere, I don't know exactly, but they screw that little piece in front of the head of the humor. So it does like a proper wall. So once the head of the humor wants to pop out going forward, it finds the little bone that it makes stop the bone. So, and this one worked pretty good, and I'm pretty happy about that. And yeah, I will say couple ribs. I got couple fucked up ribs as well, but nothing heavier than that. I mean, that one cost me 2 times 6 months, which is probably my worst injury.
Yeah, I can. Well, your shoulders and everything take such a much of impact when you're riding, and it's such a big part of controlling the bike and all that. I can imagine.
Shoulders and knees and wrists are probably the kryptonite of mountain bike riders.
Exactly.
Shoulders.
I don't think I've ever met a guy that rides motocross or dirt bikes or mountain bikes that hasn't broken a collarbone. Like, I think everyone, like, the first thing is like, you pull the collarbone to go.
and if he did not, he's probably a Sunday rider. You know what I mean? Without being, you know, an asshole with Sunday rider, that's cool. And they have fun anyway. But if they don't go like open gas, it's maybe they got less hurt, which is actually cool, you know, because if you're just a guy that wants to enjoy the weekend ride and you have to work in the weekend and the week, you know, you don't want to risk that much. I have a couple of friends like this, and it's just a different way of enjoying it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love every single rider though.
Yeah, we'll still like I think that's the cool part. We can still like not that I'm a professional at all. Like, I think I'm fall more into the category of a Sunday rider than anything else, but I'm always trying to go flat out in that. But the thing is of that risk thing is 100% what I said now with that friend of mine that's on this journey to learn to do a backflip on a dirt bike. Is he has to do a physical job in a factory that he has to work in. So if he breaks his leg, breaks his arm or whatever, then he can't go to work and can't work.
And that's fucked. This is not cool at all. Yeah. And I've been at that point, and it's not cool, you know.
Now when, let's say,
but if you want to be if the top guys, I mean the racers, for example, if the top guy, they want to be on top, they want to stay on top, for sure there's going to be failures on the way.
Definitely.
That's actually the way you learn as well, you know. You go through that, you learn about, you get smarter, and then you get faster. At the point of the race, guys, for example. But no matter what the sport is, this is probably the same way.
Exactly. Now, how has your as like your sponsors, and obviously you're a paid rider and all that, like, how do they treated when you tell them, okay, I'm not going to be riding for 6 months because I have to get the shoulder surgery, and then you come back and like, oh shit, I've got another surgery that I have to do because it popped out again. Like, how do sponsors react to stuff like that?
I mean, usually it's tough for both, you know, because when sponsors they support you with budget or with bikes or whatever, they need some results, you know, to prove they are giving you this amount of whatever budget for a reason, you know. So usually they're humans as well, they understand, but at some point, you know, if you're not producing so much stuff,
definitely
there's no way they can keep this helping the same way, you know. For example, you're probably gonna get your salary as well, you know, because it's part of the contract, but you're not going to get the budget for traveling because you're not traveling, you know.
I see what you're saying.
Normally the budget for traveling straight goes out because you're not using it, and there is no reason to spend that, but usually they keep the salary for sure.
Okay. Yeah, well, see, I think that's also part of the attitude we have in like with this, the guys that support action sports also like know the risk. It's not a thing
Oh,
of
that's
okay, you
good.
crashed and now they're going to the next guy. It's also awesome people in the sport that support these people like yourself.
I mean, usually the managers or team managers,
Mm.
they have been on your same position at some point back in the days. So
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
understand, you know, they understand a lot. For
Mm.
sure, they know what's getting injured for the rider, for the brand, and they are pretty nice. I mean, I've got injured, and YT and Spang were with me when I got injured, and they didn't left me. For
Mm.
sure, they didn't pay me the same amount the year I was super active because I was like
Yeah.
asking for money to travel
Yeah.
than when I was at home for 6 months, for sure.
Exactly.
But they didn't forget about me, which is actually cool. I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy
that's
about it.
very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well,
They're humans as well, you know.
yeah, true. No, definitely. But so talking about all the sponsors and traveling and all that now, obviously, like you guys can travel a bit more now. And that, do you have any future projects doing? Like you landed this massive front flip and all that now. So what is next on your radar to accomplish and the stuff
I
that you?
mean, I've got I for this year I had 3 videos in my mind. One
Mhm.
was Utah.
Okay.
The other one was what I've done at Darkfest, and
Hmm.
I have another two, I will say. It's another world record. I don't want to talk too much, just in case I pussy. And another one is a YT, probably a YT video, because I've been with YT for 10 years, and downhill bike from YT has 10 years as well. So
Okay.
maybe we do a little project.
Hmm.
But that's something from YT, and we need to see if it's gonna happen because the time and with the COVID conditions and
Exactly. Yeah.
let's see if it works. But for
Mm.
sure, I have one big project in my mind, and let's see. I kind of wanna talk to my sponsors first and do it
Yeah.
on a big way, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's awesome to hear. So like we like I'm definitely like can't wait for the new videos and everything to come out. And like I'm already like this morning before I start like interview, I said, yeah, now let me just rewatch some of the videos that you made. And like it's such a cool thing to see people do awesome stuff. Because me like
Yeah.
from myself, from a filmmaker side, it's so awesome to see guys like yourself that want to push the sport and want to do that, because then it means like, because I always try now is one of the things that I do with my company and my YouTube channel, and that is to promote other athletes in South Africa and like go to them and say, hey, I'm going to come to you for free. Let's film something. Let's get your name out there. Let's interview you and get people to see you
Yeah,
and
because
recognize you
sometimes
and
it's
stuff like
about
that.
having fun.
Mm.
It's not always about result.
Yeah,
You
no,
need like
100%.
it's
Yeah.
probably the secret is having the proper balance between
Mm.
reward and fun and
Yeah.
enjoy the process and all of that.
100%, 100%.
It's for sure good if you get a good result in the end. But the
Oh,
best result I learned it's not getting injured and
yeah.
keep going. You know? That's
Mm.
probably the best result. Just keep going.
Yeah, 100%. This is like I said, if you can walk away from that and you're okay and you did another awesome video project or another awesome ride. So even if you just go and riding and you come back without being injured, I think that's a win for that day then.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, dude, so to end it off and that, if you can like sum up, like if someone, whoever's listening now, if you can sum up like rules, if you would give advice to someone to listening now, like rules to live by, what is your advice for them to live by? If you sum it up in
First
one
of all,
sentence.
as we have been saying for the whole conversation, the best point is having fun.
Hmm.
I will say protect yourself at every moment. It's like pretty important as well. Check your bike. Be sure the setup it's a proper setup, or at least it's a safe setup, even if it's not working on the best way. You know, when you want to hit stuff, don't go straight to like jumping 4 steps. So go step by step. If we talk about tricks, go step by step as well. If we talk about size of the jumps, also go step by step. You know, just try to be progressive, because usually if you jump too much steps at some point, probably it's gonna pay off and it's gonna build up your confidence, but maybe it's gonna be a wrong decision. And yeah, just try to get an objective every single day, you know, even if it's just a movement or just something. Try to learn one thing every day.
Awesome, awesome.
Probably this is the best thing I can say about it.
Yeah, I had one of my trainer at BFit, the company that I train with. He says that exact same thing. He says if you improve 1% every day and you accumulate that consistency over a year, then you've improved 365% at the end of a year. That's insane to think. You just need to improve 1%.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Strongly agree with that.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks to you, man.
Dude, yeah,
Such a pleasure.
Hopefully on the next time you're here in Darkfest, then myself and our whole Disruptive Intent crew will be down in Darkfest, so we can like see you guys ride and have a beer afterwards.
It will be a pleasure, man. It was nice to meet you.
Awesome. You too, dude.
Such a good chat, man.
Thanks very much, man.
Stay in touch, buddy.
Just
see you soon.